Today, we have the best wingers in the world on display. Over 100 options. We're going to put them into some categories. Welcome back to the channel. We have Broken, Rank 1, Foot Champs, Debatable, and the Pine. And we got the bucket hat energy on. Can I get a hashtag organics? I will throw the sunglasses into motion. Without further ado, Traore. I don't know if he's still weekend league good at this point. We got a lot of competition. We have unlimited players. It's not based around price point, just output. If you're new to the streets, make sure to drop some love and appreciation. Garnacho has to be at least weekend league. I'm tempted to have him more foot champs. I don't see him in that many rotations. These items, just based on scarcity, the prices were sort of outrageous. Garnacho went from being a couple million coins to maybe 800,000. I'm feeling harsh. We're going foot champs. Pateas, you don't want to do that in foot champs anymore. But the green version, yes, abso-freaking-lutely. And it's a little bit weird because both her gold and her winter wildcards have to be more center mids, but I felt like if I was given her 96, her team of the year, a section, a category, a talking point, I wanted to include them all. Maybe even as a winger, Pateas actually goes into the Pine. I never thought I'd say that, but the gold item doesn't have the burner or the ability to truly give you accessible wing play. But I'm not feeling disrespectful. That's a lot. I'm taking my words back. We're eating them. If you're new, there will be a review at the end of the video. We always stir it up. Fadi for the weekend for sure. Bacha. I personally actually prefer her out wide. Are we including our first rank 1? I'm going to reserve for now. I feel like Bacha's 90s no longer good enough to be a left back or a left wing for some of the weekend of options that we have. Bailey has the burner, which still means foot champs, and I'm tempted to go ahead and maybe move Bacha. Garnacho's right there too. We're going to have another conversation. Barnes to the Pine. Sorry, Barnes. We have a great rapport, but it is what it is. Beckham, I would still recommend him as a center mid. That's the issue. Could he play out wide? Okay. But he's more of a center mid. Berardi, I think you're forcing it. Do we pine him? We might have to. A lot of you come after me with the Italians in particular. Sometimes the stats on paper, they look fantastic. But in game, they just don't feel like that. So some of you get in the comments, I don't think you've used the player. Or we just have a big difference of opinion. Georgie Best, phenomenal. Has to be into Broken. The 90, though, is not the same. A lot of players caught up to him. Bowen had that technical for Playstyle Plus, helped him with the dribbling a little bit. Butragueno, always had a lot of love for this man. If anything, I would tell you to go after the 92. I don't know if he should have been in a striker or a winger video. This Butragueno can only play out wide. I'm not sure if that needs to be stated, but to qualify for these positional videos, you have to be able to play the position organically. I'm going to give Chiesa the nod. I've liked Chiesa a lot. Just my personal opinion. Joe Cole, unfortunately, is moving into the debate. Coman, now with a double 5-star. Wasn't the cheapest SBC. He's not typically my favorite player in terms of his releases, and there's always something missing. And I think part of that was probably the weak foot. That's no longer an issue. We're going to take him up to rank 1. I'm trying to reserve Broken for players that have a certain track record, a definite factor amongst them where they are so damn proven to achieve greatness. Cuadrado, I really like, but I prefer him as a right back as opposed to a right mid or a right wing. He's technically a wing back. As it stands, I'm going to put him into foot champs. If we were talking defenders, I would have him as rank 1. He's going to be able to progress that attack, but as just a pure winger, you could get someone who's maybe a better goal scorer. Into the debate, the comp is heavy. That's just the reality. Usman. Dembele is back to the business. I don't want to just toss people up top because they got a big upgrade. They have the skills. They have the weak foot. They have the reputation. At least previous proof of concept. Dembele hasn't been as juiced this year. I'll just leave that. Let it simmer a little bit. Di Maria, love him, but he's got to go into the debate at this point. This Diaz got a significant upgrade, now with a few more play styles. He still hasn't been a killer for me. I'm just throwing that out there. Diaby is fast, but we'll just leave that here, whether it's fire, whether it's ice. I think it depends what you need, who's in your team. I love Diani. I still think she is so underrated. If you're looking for maybe the best value of rank 1, I have a feeling it's going to be Diani. She also has 2 items that are a 92. But if you like the design of the Thunderstruck instead, I'm not mad at that. I actually prefer that design. It moves a little bit, shimmer and a shake, got some Pokemon feels. Doku's still got some elite levels. He's got this sweaty aspect to him. There's an intimidation. For that reason, I kind of keep him in rank 1. I'm looking at what I've done here with some of these movements, and do I need to start moving people? It's a little early. Dybala, fantastic value. I'm going to give him foot champs. You can play him for the weekend. Love what you're spending or the SBC that you're completing to what you're getting in terms of stats and the packaging. He might be a little bit of a specialist depending how you play. Felipe Anderson, an 87 being released now is difficult. Throw that out there. This upgrade came out of nowhere. He's one of those players that went from a silver to a 91. I don't have that trust yet. That's just where I'm at. João Felix, I like him out wide. I might even prefer him up front. Really clean on the ball. You're going to take somebody on. A lot of respect for his dribbling. Phil Foden in form. Not doing it. I'm sorry. Futra. Oof, what an item. Got that little hero bonus. Martinelli's probably gone down a notch with all the upgrades. Wasn't expensive SBC at that. This man just doesn't fit the list, does he? My apologies. Garincha, not quite into broken, but we'll give him rank 1. I swear that was a 92. Maybe I'm mistaken, though. Ginola feels broken. Kind of a scare tactic. I don't think he cannot be in the broken category, regardless of players and their ratings and catching up and this and that. It's how I feel. The 89 Ginola, still rank 1. This Julie, rank 1. Basically an SBC for nothing, for nada. Gonzalez, gotta start getting a little stricter. In some ways, Jackie Grealish, I think you might be forcing it a little bit. I would have him for the weekend, and I like using him. He's got that trickster playstyle. It's a big upgrade for him, but I don't know if he's in that next stage or next era or notch of wingers. Grimaldo, what a man. Delivery and service. I don't know that he really gets himself even into the weekend now, but he has been performing with Bayer Leverkusen. Speaking of, we put out a video on the Football Records channel if you want the storytelling of how Xabi Alonso has shifted and changed the club. Likely to win the Bundesliga. Hansen, yes ma'am. I mean, not going to be cheap. We know that, but definitely going to be broken. We also know that. I don't know if I'm fully convinced. I'll throw him into the debate. EA just came out and just blasted us with new players and new upgrades, and some of them had significant movements, and we don't have enough offensively to build meta, to score goals or combat what's happening with the chase back. Thierry Henry, what an item. What a man. Happy that he's back just to being himself. This year, he has been explosive. Even the 93. What do I do here? All right. I'm throwing both Henrys into broken, and I'm telling you, I'm making a statement early. We will add an additional tier, but I'm going to do it at the end. The 91's nowhere near the same level. I'm going to bring him into foot champs. Hemp, I've got a good relationship with Hemp. She's going foot champs for me. Insigne's kind of nice, and he just scored a banger in MLS. Open up your body like a finesse shot. Quick, responsive, footwork, on point. Sort of an Italian Messi-esque feel, if you will. I was going to say an Italian Messi in MLS, but Messi is now in MLS. Lauren Hemp, we're still giving her the weekend, even though I've had my differences with her. Jarzinho, good money for rank 1. I don't think Lee's making it into teams. I don't know if I just want to start throwing people into the pine, if I'm being too harsh if I do that, but we have too many players that have been upgraded. Kelly can get herself into the weekend at least. Some of you really stand by her. Harry. Unfortunately, Harry Cool is not going to do it. I don't know what to tell you with Kubo either. There was a point in this game that I loved this man. It's just not now. And I think he has to go to the Pine. Dirk Kuyt, Pine. Kvaratskhelia, forgive me for the pronunciation gods are not on my side. The Georgian, he's sort of a better version of a Di Maria. I'm going to give him foot champs. Just that's the disclaimer. Laudrup, are we talking about him as a winger? Or are we talking about him as a fullback? As a fullback, he would be foot champs. But as a winger, debatable at best. Lineker's a no. Lineker's a winger with 76 passing. Don't do that to yourself. Chucky Lozano, he's still fast, but I don't think he has enough of a complete package. Not as it stands, not with what we're used to. Luis Figo, stats always read off beautifully, but in-game, it's missing. Mahrez, not good enough. I don't make the rules. Malcolm, not good enough. I have that item. Malin will get to the weekend. He's got that Evo as well. I see Malin regularly still doing things over the course of foot champs or even division rivals. Manuel, think he's fake stats here. Marta really needs to be in the center of the pitch. Love Marta. Respect for everything she's accomplished. Technically, it's a wing item, but that's kind of my takeaway. I'll throw her into the debate for the appreciation of what she's achieved throughout her career. Now we have the triple Mbappe set. If you know, then you know. I still believe, and even the gold needs to be rank 1. We'll throw both the other Mbappe's, the 93 and the 97, into broken for now, and we'll revisit when we get there. McManaman, I like him. Crazy looking dynamic image, at least to the weekend. Another good value pickup if you're looking for maybe a newer hero or a new winger or a new attacker. He might surprise you. Beth Mead always had a certain appreciation, respect factor. Her ability is there. Early overpowered action if you had her initial gold at an 87. Happy she finally received an upgrade. Nani needs more of an upgrade. I'm going to put him into the pine for now. I'm sorry. I'm not happy about that. I don't know that Nedved really deserves the debate, but that's what I'm doing. 93 Neymar, still got to be at least considered somewhere at the top. 89 Neymar, I don't know if he can do it for you on the weekend. Not with the competition that we have. But I do have certain certifications, mastery of his touches that are kind of unique to Neymar. And for that reason, I'm going to give him at least the weekend, but he's really cuspy. Nico Williams could run around enough for you on the weekend. Michael Olise is definitely a future star, but I don't think he's in your rotation. Michael Owen, not in the rotation. Cole Palmer, really good. Solid. Don't know where you want to play him. Easily rank 1, maybe even moving in some upward trajectory. We saw him used as a fullback in competitive play, which is not technically a winger, but again, he was a wing back. He was used offensively heavily. Pedro Neto with the quick feet. I'll give him the debate. I'll give the other Pedro, unfortunately, into the pine. Pires, you're not using him. I don't think it's going to happen, but just give him a little icon extra duty. People scream off the rafters about Politano, but I think they just like that he's affordable. He's cheap. Very cheap. He has the dribbling. There's quick response time. I don't know if it'll be for everyone. Pulisic, I don't like doing this, but we're also putting him into the debate. Rafa Leao, I don't know about broken, but he's there. He's having conversations. Rafinha, I don't think you can use him now. That's the situation. As much as I've liked this guy, I've put him into rotations and squads. We've done builds. The game changes, the game shifts. Rashford, I'd still probably prefer up front, but I'm struggling to not have him at least in a conversation of being a rank 1 player. Unfortunately, she's been somewhat overrated. She's had high stats and high ratings, but never makes it into teams, so we're just going to be harsh. This Franck Ribéry is good money. Might even need another notch, bring it together. The 88's okay for the weekend, but he's barely there. Rivaldo, he's barely there. It's a big upgrade for him, but he's one of those icons that you don't see used, and it's not by accident. Rodman, I still think she gives you enough if you wanted to play through the weekend with her. Rodrigo, brand new. He has a fantastic track record at our club, and that's an upgrade from the 87, which we still have in here, and you know, just he's done too much. He's done too much. Just as a reminder, 443 games played, 259 goals, 219 assists. I can't take that away from this individual. Do I have a bias? Probably. Rolfo, wow. What an item. What a piece of stat lines. I don't know that being a winger is her best role. She's so well-rounded. Would you maybe prefer her as a fullback or get more out of her? Potentially. Or as a holding mid or a center mid, a box-to-box mid. There's some TBD on Rolfo. Huge upgrade, but she'd still be nice out wide. Trickster and ping pass for the playstyle plus action. There's a lot to like. Ronaldinho, abso-freaking-lutely to the top. Even the 93, I feel like he should be, as we stand, in the same category. At least today, where we're currently at in the list. St. Max, unfortunately, going to go to the pine. Saka with the skills. I think it's the other dynamic image, which is the one with the skill moves, but it's a big upgrade for him. We'll slot him in rank 1. Wow, the competition, it's getting there. It's cooking up. Salah, has he done enough to stay in rank 1? I think he has. But he's losing steam, not gaining steam based on the players around him. Selma. She's been cool, but I think we have to move her down, maybe? What do we do here? Yeah, I'm going to put her in the debate. Sane, unfortunately, to the pine. Xavi, I don't think he's going to be super rotational for you. If you want, we can put him into a debatable scenario. Hugo Sanchez, the Mexican international. I'd still like him for the weekend league. Son, We're talking about Sonaldo. Still finds his way into rank 1, but I'd like on the record, I prefer him centrally. I prefer him as a striker of sorts or a center forward as opposed to being a winger, but he can still play as a winger and he'll still be active duty as a winger. Raheem the Dream, I feel like a hater. I've always felt that this was a lackluster release. So I'll throw him in the debate. If I was coming in a little bit more strength in hand, I might even have him in the Pine. Nathan out wide, also part of Bayer Leverkusen. Did I mention the video? I think he's going to the Pine. He doesn't have the track record to really make this happen. Flo, we're going to move him into the debate. Schuker, we have amazing rapport, but at this point of the game, more debatable. Vinicius, yeah, what an explosive player. Feels like he should be broken. Just with what he can do with the sheer pace and changing the game, he's dynamic in that way. I left him in rank 1 for now. We're going to take Vinny Jr., the 89. Probably the only gold player outside of Mbappe that's more than 100K. Willian, always confused by this item. I see the stats. I never see him in any sort of rotations. I don't want to just default giving this guy the weekend league when I don't see him in the weekend. I don't see him ever. I feel as if this item is a ghost in terms of the ecosystem of rotationals. There you go. He's still getting the weekend. Ian Wright, love it. He needs to play up front. For that reason, we're going to go debate. EA could have done better by him. Okay? I say all this because we have a major review. As per usual, I don't believe we're going to have a lot happening in the Pine with players getting out of the Pine. I look at this and I feel so strongly about these guys being in the Pine. If anything, it comes down to, do we want to have anyone join them? Florian, we're going to pull him down. He's got a 3-star weak foot. He doesn't have a playstyle plus, which is pretty rare. Even though I might not have that much belief in Sterling, I'm not going to go disrespectful. Marta is just mispositioned. She needs to be more central. She doesn't have enough pace to make a case. Di Maria has done a lot. Schuker's done a lot, at least for me personally, in the teams that I've built, but it is what it is. I'm going to bring Politano up. Pulisic, I'd love to move up off an American bias. This is what we've done. Botch is up. Politano's up. Christian might have had the movement on a different day. I like Mead a lot. Don't sleep on her. She'd be one of your better pickups here. McManaman, same situation. I can hear the arguments in the comments for Garnacho going up. What we should create, though, is this additional category. I think what we've been doing is extra broken, so I'm going to stay on that theme. Hansen has to be there, and I'm truly focusing on this player as a winger, or these players as a winger. I want that clear. My movements are based on them playing as a winger. Ronaldinho will move. This new Henry moves. Mbappe moves. Even the 93 in that category, or this grouping of players, I believe moves. If anything, even the 91 Mbappe goes to broken. It's ridiculous. Pateas, I would still prefer often a little more centrally, but people are playing her out wide, even at the pro or the competitive level. Georgie Best has been unstoppable. I'll leave the 93 Henry here to have a separation. I'm going to leave, I believe, the 93 Ronaldinho because the 95 is significantly better. Ginola should stay into broken. Neymar stays. Mbappe stays. I'm going to have Vinny come up. Rolfo is going to also jump up. That new Franck Ribéry making moves. Leao, what an explosive monster. I like what we're doing here. Feels right. I think some of y'all will argue for Dembele. I just don't know if he's been the same killer. That's how I feel. And rank 1 is not something to slouch at. My trust in Palmer, from what I've been witnessing going up against him, versatility, attacking roles, even playing out wide as one of those mainstay roles. Like I said, as a winger, it's real. I'm not willing to just move players based on hype or based on price point. It's all about ability. I feel good about this. You might even see 93 Garrincha and say, why isn't he making moves? He's not as good as he was, or he just isn't. I'm okay with what we've got situated. Those are my thoughts. You're going to let me know how you feel in the comments. If you're brand spanking new, it is free to subscribe. I appreciate you. And as always, we have a lot more content coming out ASAP.